now let's bring in Professor Kobi Michael. He's a senior fellow at the INSS and Mikail Institute and the former Deputy Director General of the Israeli Ministry of Strategic Affairs. And welcome to the programme, Kobi. Good to see you again. So let's talk about what happened yesterday. 2 IDF troops killed by Hamas in that attack. In your opinion, did the IDF respond strongly enough?
I hope so. First of all, good evening. I hope so. We are in a very fragile situation. This is not the first violation or breach of the agreement by Hamas. And unfortunately, I think that it is not going to be the last one. Israel is in a very delicate situation with regard to its response because Israel wants and has an interest in the implementation of President Trump plan, and Israel still waits to have all the bodies of the hostages, all the dead hostages. So on the one hand, we have to be, I would say, a bit patient and to be a bit restrained when it comes to the retaliation. On the other hand, we cannot allow ourselves to go back to the equations and to the norms that we knew until October 7th. And therefore, the retaliation must be very aggressive, very heavy, and must indicate that Israel will not accept these rules of the game that Hamas tries to impose of us immediately at the beginning of this ceasefire.
Well, what do you think is happening here? Do you think this is Hamas playing for time, kind of stringing out the release of the deceased hostages, all the while murdering its rivals on the streets of Gaza and reorganizing itself?
I think that what we see is the manifestation or the reflection of Hamas DNA. Personally, I'm not surprised from the behavior of Hamas. By the way, if we read carefully the response of Hamas to President Trump's plan, we can understand immediately that it was no, it was not yes. And Hamas accepted or agreed only to the first stage, which is related to the release of the hostages and redeployment of the IDF along the yellow line. They do not intend to dismantle themselves. They do not intend to demilitarize the Gaza Strip, and they do not intend to be removed from any participation or influence in the reconstruction process of the Gaza Strip. So we are going to face some very troubling and challenging problems when it comes to the implementation of the second and the third phase of the plan. And we have to be ready in advance to tackle successfully these challenges. And I think that we have to find the right way to do that by combining the diplomatic, political path together with the military one, and to keep President Trump focused, determined, and decisive with regard to his own plan.
Yeah, it's a difficult balancing act, isn't it, in some ways? Are you concerned by what President Trump said earlier? Because he did appear to legitimize Hamas's version of what happened yesterday, saying that this wasn't the Hamas leadership, this was other elements beyond its control.
I recommend us all not to take too seriously all the declarations that are made by President Trump, be it in press conferences or be it via his social fruit platform, because there is no coherence. We saw that at first when Hamas began with the butchering and the murdering of its own citizens in the streets of Gaza, he said that he doesn't care too much about that. Hamas has to deal with gangs and has to enforce law and order. And the day after, he said that he even warned Hamas to stop with that, okay? So today he says that he accepts the explanations of Hamas, and tomorrow he will say something else. The most important thing is to keep President Trump in the very intimate channels with him, to keep him continue backing Israel and to keep him focused on his own plan, and to keep his backing to the Israeli responses to Hamas violations, and to increase the chances to implement successfully the plan itself.
All right, Professor Kobi Michael, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.